Hello, my friends. Let me ask you this. Have you ever noticed how, as we get older, people start making assumptions about us? They think they know what we can or can't do, what we should care about, or, here's the kicker, how much time we have left. It's almost like they're looking at us through a filter that doesn't reflect who we truly are. But you and I both know life doesn't work like that. Age is just a number. It's the stories we've lived, the lessons we've learned, and the people we've loved that truly define us. And here's the truth. Some of those stories, those lessons, and yes, even those struggles, belong to you. They're yours to hold, to treasure, and sometimes to keep private. Today, we're diving into a powerful topic, the 9 things you should never share with anyone. Why? Because protecting your peace, your dignity, and your freedom is more important now than ever. These 9 things are like little guardians of your happiness. And trust me, once you hear them, you'll understand why keeping certain things to yourself isn't just smart. It's empowering. So grab your favorite drink, get comfortable, and let's embark on this journey together. By the end of this video, you'll see how a little discretion can go a long way in creating a life of grace, strength, and joy. Are you ready? Let's begin. 1. Age, it's just a number. Let's start with something everyone asks about at some point, your age. It's such a common question, isn't it? How old are you? It might seem harmless, but sharing your age can lead to all kinds of unexpected consequences. When people know your age, they often start making assumptions. Maybe they think, oh, at 60 or 70, you probably can't do this or that. Or worse, they start offering unwanted advice, acting like you need to slow down, or treat you like you're running out of time. And that can be so frustrating. But let me remind you, age does not define you. You're not a number. You are a collection of experiences, of laughter and lessons, of challenges overcome. Your value isn't tied to how many candles are on your birthday cake. And here's another reason to keep your age private. Ageism. Unfortunately, it's still a real issue. People might judge your abilities or your potential just based on a number. And that's not fair. You've worked hard to get where you are, and you deserve to live life on your terms. So the next time someone asks, "How old are you?" just smile and say, "Old enough to know better and young enough to keep going." Let them wonder. Let them focus on who you are, not how old you are. Life isn't measured by the years you count. It's measured by the moments you create. Keep living, keep thriving, and let your age remain your secret. After all, it's your story to tell, or not to tell. 2. Money. Wealth whispers. Now, let's talk about something that gets people really curious: money. Whether you're living comfortably or working toward financial stability, your financial life is your business. But when you start sharing too much, things can get complicated. Money is a sensitive topic. When people know about your finances, whether you're doing well or struggling, it changes how they see you. If you're doing well, it might invite jealousy or create expectations. Maybe a friend or family member starts hinting that you should help out or cover costs. And if you're having financial difficulties, people might pity you or assume you've made poor choices. Let's be honest, that's the last thing anyone needs. But here's the truth. Money doesn't define you. It doesn't measure your worth, your kindness, or the life you've built. Whether you're saving every penny or have a little extra to spend, your financial situation is yours to manage. You've probably heard the saying, wealth whispers, and it's true. The most dignified way to handle money is to keep it private. By not sharing, you avoid unnecessary drama, protect your relationships, and maintain control over how you want to live. So, the next time someone brings up money, remember, you don't owe anyone an explanation. A simple, "I manage fine, thank you," is enough. Keep it simple. Keep it yours. In the end, It's not the money in your bank account that matters. It's how you use it to live a meaningful life. Let your actions and your generosity speak louder than any number ever could. 3. Family. The sanctuary of home. Now, let's step into a more personal space, your family. Family is where our strongest bonds are formed, but it's also where things can get complicated. Let's face it, every family has its challenges, disagreements, misunderstandings, even long-standing conflicts. They're part of the story. But not every chapter needs to be shared. Family is sacred. It's your safe space, your sanctuary. When you start sharing private family matters with outsiders, you open the door to judgment, gossip, and unnecessary drama. You might think you're just venting, but outsiders can't always see the full picture. They form opinions based on what you tell them, and those opinions can unfairly affect how they view your loved ones. When family issues are exposed, it can also damage trust within the family. Imagine how you'd feel if someone shared something deeply personal about you without your permission. Keeping family matters private isn't about hiding. It's about respect. It's about honouring the bond you share and giving each other space to work things out. Now, I'm not saying you should bottle everything up. If you need support, talk to someone you truly trust, a therapist, a counsellor, or a close friend who knows how to listen without judgment. But when it comes to casual conversation or public sharing, less is always more. Every family has its ups and downs. By keeping them private, you create space for healing, growth, and understanding. You're protecting what matters most: love, loyalty, and the sanctuary of home. So the next time you feel tempted to share a family story, pause for a moment. Ask yourself, does this help or does it hurt? And remember, some things are better kept close to the heart. Ask yourself, does this really need to be shared, or is it something better left within the family? Most of the time, the answer will be clear. Some things are best kept between the walls of home. 4. Health, your choice. Let's talk about something we all face as we grow older, our health. By the time we reach our 50s, 60s or 70s, chances are we have at least one medication or treatment as part of our routine. Maybe it's for blood pressure, arthritis, or another condition entirely. While it might seem normal to talk about these things, sharing too much about your medications or treatments can lead to some unwanted consequences. Here's why. When you openly discuss your health issues, people may start to see you differently. Instead of seeing you as the vibrant, capable, and experienced person you are, they might start viewing you only through the lens of your condition. Suddenly, you're no longer Mary who loves gardening or John who's great at fixing things. You become Mary with arthritis or John with heart problems. And honestly, who wants to be reduced to a diagnosis? Then there's the unsolicited advice. You know the type. Someone hears you're on a certain medication and suddenly they're recommending miracle cures, special diets, or herbal supplements. It's often well-meaning, but it can quickly become overwhelming or even frustrating. Sometimes it's just not helpful at all. But the biggest reason to keep your health details private is that your health is your business. You have every right to manage it on your own terms. Sharing too much can leave you feeling vulnerable or judged, as if others are scrutinizing your choices. The best approach? Be selective. If someone asks about your health, you don't need to get into the details. A simple, "I'm doing what works for me," or "my doctor and I have it under control," is more than enough. It's polite, it sets boundaries, and it keeps the focus on who you are, not on your prescriptions. Remember, your health is your story to tell, or not to tell. By keeping those details private, you protect your dignity, your independence, and your ability to live life on your terms. After all, you are so much more than any condition or medication. You are you, and that's what matters most. 5. Sexuality, intimacy is sacred now. Let's move into a deeply personal and often misunderstood topic: sexuality. Here's the truth. Intimacy doesn't fade with age. In fact, for many people, it becomes even more meaningful over time. It's not just about physical connection. It's about trust, companionship, and love. But here's something important to consider. Sharing too much about your private life can lead to unnecessary judgment or misunderstanding. What you choose to do in your most personal relationships is sacred. It deserves respect and discretion. When we talk too openly about our intimate lives, especially in casual conversation, it can open the door to gossip, criticism, or even mockery from those who don't understand or who aren't respectful. Your connection with a partner, whether you have one now or cherish memories from the past, is something precious. It's a part of your emotional world that should be handled with care. That doesn't mean you can't talk about love, companionship, or the value of emotional closeness. But when it comes to the private details, remember that intimacy is sacred. It's not for public consumption. So protect that part of yourself. Share your heart where it's safe, with someone who truly honors it. Because when you treat your own experiences with respect, others will be more likely to do the same. Society has a funny way of treating intimacy in older adults, doesn't it? It's almost as if people forget that romance and passion are timeless. But let's be clear. What you choose to share about your intimate life and who you share it with is entirely up to you. Here's why keeping it private truly matters. Intimacy is sacred. It's about the bond between you and your partner, a deeply personal connection. When you share those details publicly, even with good intentions, it can diminish the specialness of that bond. Something beautiful and private becomes open to judgment and scrutiny. And let's face it, people love to gossip. They may judge your choices, make assumptions, or worse, reduce your relationship to a stereotype. There's also the matter of respect. Your intimate life isn't just your story, it's your partner's too. By keeping things private, you show respect for both yourself and the person you love. And here's another truth. Your needs and desires may have evolved over time, and that's perfectly natural. Those changes are a part of your personal journey, something you never have to explain or justify to anyone. So, the next time someone pries or asks a question that feels too personal, you can politely but firmly say, "That's something I prefer to keep private." It's simple, it's classy, and it sets a healthy boundary without creating discomfort. Remember this, intimacy is about connection, not explanation. By keeping your private life private, you protect its value, its meaning, and its beauty. It's yours to cherish, and no one else needs to weigh in. Because at the end of the day, love and intimacy are ageless, and they deserve the respect that only privacy can provide. 6. Charity, the quiet power of giving. Now, let's talk about something that reflects the very best in humanity, charity. Whether you're donating to a cause, volunteering your time, or helping a friend in need, giving is one of the most beautiful and selfless acts we can offer. But here's something many people overlook. There is immense strength and grace in giving quietly. When you give, it should be about the act of helping, not about recognition. Talking about your generosity might feel good for a moment, but it can easily be misunderstood. Others may see it as a way to seek praise or attention, and that can dilute the sincerity of your intentions. True generosity doesn't need an audience. It comes from the heart, not from a need for applause. Openly discussing your charitable actions can also unintentionally create pressure. Some people may not be in a position to give, or they may feel inadequate because they are facing struggles of their own. By keeping your giving private, you allow others the freedom to walk their own paths without feeling compared or judged. There's also dignity to consider. Not everyone wants to be seen as a recipient of charity. When you give quietly, you honor their pride and autonomy. It's not about making a show of their needs. It's about helping in a way that uplifts without embarrassing or diminishing. Think of it this way. The most meaningful acts of kindness are often the quietest. Paying for someone's groceries, donating anonymously, or simply offering a helping hand. These are the moments that leave lasting impacts. So the next time you give, resist the urge to announce it. Let your actions speak for themselves. As the old saying goes, what you give in secret will be rewarded in silence. Remember, real generosity isn't measured by the applause. It's measured by the difference it makes. By keeping your charity private, you not only protect the dignity of those you help, but also preserve the purity and joy of giving. Because at the end of the day, the quiet power of giving is what makes it truly priceless. 7. Honor. Protecting your reputation. Let's talk about honor, your reputation, your dignity, and the legacy you've built over a lifetime. By the time you reach your 50s, 60s, or 70s, chances are you've accomplished a great deal. Maybe you've raised a family, built a successful career, contributed to your community, or supported others through tough times. These achievements are something to be proud of. But here's a question worth asking. Do you need to talk about them all the time? There's a fine line between celebrating your life's work and constantly seeking recognition. In today's world, where people often share every achievement online, it's easy to fall into the habit of oversharing. But here's the truth. True honor doesn't need to be announced. It's not in the words you speak. It's in the way you live your life. When you talk too much about your accomplishments, it can sometimes come across as boasting, even if that's not your intention. People might feel envious, judged, or simply overwhelmed. And let's be honest, none of us want our hard work to create discomfort in others. Instead, let your legacy speak for itself. Those who know you, your family, friends, and community, already respect what you've done. You don't need to remind them. In fact, humility often earns more admiration than any declaration ever could. So the next time you feel the urge to bring up a big success, pause. Ask yourself, do I really need to share this, or will my actions and the life I've lived say enough? Remember this, honor is like a quiet flame. It burns brightest when it's not overshadowed by words. Protect your dignity by letting your legacy shine through your deeds, not your declarations. Because at the end of the day, the deepest respect comes from who you are, not just what you say. 8. Insults, letting go of past hurts. Now let's touch on something that every one of us has faced, insults. Maybe it was a harsh word from someone you cared about, a moment of public embarrassment, or an experience that left you feeling small. These moments stick with us. They can echo in our minds when we least expect them, casting long shadows over otherwise bright days. But here's the thing. What you choose to do with those experiences can change everything. When you hold on to insults, when you replay them over and over, or share them repeatedly, they become a burden. And that burden doesn't fall on the person who hurt you. It falls on you. It weighs down your spirit and tethers you to moments you've long since outgrown. But letting go of past hurts doesn't mean forgetting. It doesn't mean pretending it didn't happen. It means choosing not to let that moment define your present or your future. This is where privacy becomes a powerful tool. When you keep painful memories to yourself, at least until you're ready to truly release them, you create space to heal. Sharing those wounds too early or with the wrong people can invite judgment, unwanted advice, or even pity. And that's not what you need. What you need is peace. So the next time you find yourself stuck in an old memory or wanting to revisit a painful insult, take a breath. Ask yourself, is talking about this helping me heal, or is it keeping me stuck? Remember this, the past is a place of reference, not residence. By keeping your wounds private, you give yourself the time and freedom to heal on your own terms. And when you finally let go of what hurt you, you'll feel lighter. freer. Because at the end of the day, your story isn't about what broke you. It's about how you rose, how you moved forward, and how you chose joy over bitterness. Let go of what weighs you down and make room for the peace, strength, and happiness that you deserve. 9. Beliefs. The strength of your mantra. Finally, let's talk about something deeply personal, your beliefs. Whether it's a mantra, a guiding philosophy, or a spiritual practice, we all have something that anchors us. It's that quiet voice or principle that gives us strength when life feels overwhelming. But here's something important to remember. Not everything sacred needs to be shared. Your beliefs are uniquely yours. They're shaped by your experiences, your challenges, and your triumphs. They live deep within you, and not everyone will understand them, and that's perfectly okay. When you share your beliefs too openly, you might invite unwanted opinions, skepticism, or even judgment. But here's the truth. Your beliefs don't need validation to be valuable. There's power in privacy. When your mantra remains your own, it stays pure. It holds its meaning and strength, unshaken by interpretation or debate. It becomes your personal sanctuary, a quiet source of comfort that you can return to any time. Now maybe you're wondering, what if my belief could help someone else? That's a good question. Sometimes sharing your philosophy can inspire others. But if you choose to share, do it from a place of sincerity, not pressure. Share only with those who will honor and respect what it means to you. So how do you protect your beliefs? You keep them close. When someone asks, you might simply say, I have something I live by that keeps me grounded, without diving into details. That's enough. You honor their curiosity while preserving the sanctity of your inner compass. Remember this, your beliefs are your foundation. They don't need to be broadcast to be meaningful. By keeping them private, you protect their power and ensure they remain a steady source of strength and peace in your life. At the end of the day, the strength of your mantra doesn't lie in how many people know it. It lies in how deeply it resonates with you. So hold it close, cherish it, and let it be the quiet force that guides you through life with grace and confidence. Closing message: the power of what you don't share. And there you have it, 9 things you should never feel obligated to share with anyone. These aren't rules, they're choices. Choices that help protect your dignity, your peace, and your personal freedom. Because as we grow older, we come to understand something powerful. What we choose not to share is often just as meaningful as what we do. Think about it. Your age doesn't define your worth. Your finances don't measure your value. Your family, your health, your intimacy, your generosity, your accomplishments, your pain, and your beliefs. These are yours. They are pieces of your story, worthy of protection and honor. By keeping them private, you're not hiding. You're empowering yourself. You're setting boundaries. You're valuing your journey. You're living life on your own terms. Privacy isn't about secrecy. It's about control. Choosing who gets to know what and when. So as you move forward, remember this. Silence isn't empty. It's full of power. When you protect what's sacred to you, you make space for peace, for resilience, and for joy. Let me leave you with this. Life isn't about sharing everything. It's about sharing the right things with the right people at the right time. So hold on to what matters. Protect it, cherish it, and let it guide you toward a life of quiet strength and purpose. Thank you for spending this time with me today. If this message spoke to your heart, I'd love to hear from you. Drop a 1 in the comments if it resonated, or a 0 if you see things differently. Either way, your voice matters, and I'm here to listen. Until next time, remember. Wisdom often lies in what we don't say. Live fully, live quietly, and always. Live with purpose. Thank you, and take care.